why is Gwildor the comic relief of this movie? He's not that funny. Nothing
I
he
mean,
does is intrinsically funny.
he's funny looking, you
Yeah, but
know.
we're in the 80s where funny looking is funny enough? Is that where we are?
I mean, yeah, we haven't we haven't reached the state of American cinema where you can't make fun of someone just because they look funny. Uh,
Yeah.
Gwildor isn't burdened with the task of also having like funny jokes that he does. He can just like show up on screen, be ugly, and that's enough.
Just like that new I saw the new Time Bandits still. Not one of them is a small person, a little person. They're all tall people. I'm like, it's erasure of little people culture.
I think like I think as a person that says awful jokes all the time myself, I mean, I feel like this like Gwildor's friends here are enabling him by laughing so uproariously at his jokes where you know, I feel if you're a good friend, you will just kind of stay silent. It's kind of reaction that I get most of the time. So
Exactly.
They met him this morning.
It has
this
not
movie,
been that long.
This is our first night of this day.
right.
They just met.
Yeah,
So
I forget.
friends is it's his friends. It's like, okay. They met in the middle of a war. Imagine you met a guy in a war in the morning. Is he your best friend by the afternoon? I don't know.
Well, it depends
Yeah.
on who you're asking because you know, Connor McLeod, he met someone in the middle of the war, and then like 30 years later, they're still his secretary.
Yeah, but that's because he saved her. Wildor hasn't saved anybody yet.
Gwildor
I'm
has
just now
tech
realizing
knowledge.
this movie takes place within like a 24-hour period
Yeah, because they've got to get back before the Drakmans or the Claim Clams or
before moonrise or something like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of gibberish.
Anyways, speaking of, I'd give all the Chalcedonite and Frobillion if we could just get the podcast started already.
Let's do it.
Here we are. Wait, what?
By the power of Grayskull.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Sword Boys. We're talking about Masters of the Universe, Part 4. I'm Robin.
I'm Rick.
I'm Jonathan, and I've got something in me.
That's right. We are talking about a cut of the movie that begins at 53 minutes, 18 seconds and goes until 1 hour, 10 minutes, 8 seconds. Legitimately this time. I'm not screwing up like I did last episode. We are beginning with Julie running into her house to find Kevin shackled to some alien technology. And it ends with He-Man doing an impression of Connor McLeod in Highlander 2 by commandeering a hoverboard.
I really thought Courtney Cox was going to ask him a question while he still was wearing the collar. I was really hoping there would be some kind of like, do you still love me? Kind of horribleness. So he could be
Did
like,
you eat
no.
my chicken?
Have you told you about my parents? Way too many times. You've told me way too many. No one cares anymore.
Do you want me to stay?
Like, obviously, Julie doesn't
Why are my
understand.
oranges in the sink?
Right. Obviously, Julie doesn't understand what this thing does because otherwise, yeah, she totally would ask him more questions.
Mm-hmm. But I think Kevin could really make the illusions like bring him into a new sound. We got the cosmic keyboard and we got the collar of autotune. So like he could just really drop the rest of his bandmates. They're probably pissed about their equipment at this point and just take the show out on his own.
Yeah, he really is. He's a one-man band. He's Weird Alling it. We're at a point of him playing a weird instrument, you know, like no one else plays. No one else knows how to play this thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a stickler. I'm not a stickler for how you enter a room and clear it, but I gotta say the way He-Man and Teela clear this room, not very good tactically.
Wait, you don't clear a room by jumping full-bodied into it?
They both jump in like, yeah. And then she stands right next to them and he looks a little left and she looks a little right and they're like, clear. I'm like, great. Great
what
job,
about
guys.
the one team member that just doesn't clear anything and goes straight for Julie's closet? I'm I'm looking for some clothes here.
Who's? I thought all the stuff was packed. Who's? This is dead mom's clothes. Oh,
Yeah, that's true. Are those Julie's clothes that Gwildor pulls on? It's
I
like a
don't know.
flowery hat, like a big scarf, like a moo kind of thing.
I will give He-Man and Teela the benefit of the doubt in that they've never been in a house, because it seems like on Eternia you live in a cave or you live in a castle.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
maybe they're like, whoa. They're freaked out by rooms.
They don't have chairs either, because as soon as like I think it was Kevin that lifts up the chair, Teela's like danger and blasts it.
Yes.
Julie's like, what the fuck? That my fucking house is already ruined. I gotta pack all this shit back again. Some asshole went through and rooted through everything to find a key. Like, obviously, the giant key is not gonna be underneath a paper. Like,
I love
what
that
are you doing?
I love that they run in the house and say it's clear, but then Julie's the one who sees Tom Paris laying up against the table. Hey guys, it's not clear if he's over here with this weird. They don't know. That could be a bomb around his neck. They don't know.
Yeah. They don't know that it's the, what did they call it? The color of
they know.
Al Druber.
Yeah, Al Druber.
Thank
He's-
you, Man at
yeah.
Arms. That means nothing to me.
Algebra.
It contributes nothing.
Oh, the color of algebra. No.
No,
Yeah, one
the
thing's
collar
for sure.
of Al Jarreau.
Like,
Ooh.
Gwildor showing up
Some
dressed like grandma,
night.
talking about, oh, if we dress like this, we can walk around unnoticed. Like, this is the opportunity for us to get that like Prince Adam reference that we were talking about, several episodes ago, where it's like, yeah, put him in like a pink polo and he'd be like, ah, no, reference to the cartoon. I don't like this.
Oh yeah, you wanted to be dressed up like Prince Adam.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have
they
been
could have
good.
done it. Because Julie's dad had like Prince Adam clothes. Well, not like specifically Prince Adam, but like the Earth equivalent.
Sure, and then they also missed completely missed the fact that they could have had, as he's like trying to take off the collar as Man at Arms is working on it, it blows up and here I'll drummer. They don't have that.
So the comedy here is not just he's dressed up, right? He says native clothing. Look at lots all over the place. If we dress like this, no one will recognize us. And I think the funny part is Kevin's like, "What the hell is that?" An appropriate reaction to Gwildor, and then Gwildor's immediately like, "See."
And
That's
Courtney
right.
Cox is like, that
Actually
as
is
if that
a pretty good joke.
that is a good joke.
Yeah. Because it works on multiple levels, other than Gwildor is, a half melted scrotum monster.
Yeah.
So we get he's like, okay, it's at the mall.
Yep. Lubick took it to Charlie's. Charlie's music shop is at the Landmark Mall.
Definitely not a mall.
Not a mall at all. It's a main
it's,
street.
It's a shopping street.
Yeah.
A shopping street. That's not a thing.
Yeah. And then
It's Main Street, USA.
and then He-Man's like, can you show us the way?
And so it's a race between the pink flamingo hypercar and the swamp boat.
Yeah. So
Right.
given that one of them like has a tracking device and can fly, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me that even with a massive head start, they still arrive after the Cadillac.
I understand why you don't understand this. Here, Rick, let me put on the collar of algebra so you will understand how the math works in this. I now understand. It is good.
It is so good.
I figured it out.
Have you seen the traffic of this LA?
Yeah.
Not another soul on the street. How late is it that Charlie's is still open and yet there's no traffic on the road because apparently everybody is home already?
Oh,
What is
backstory.
this?
Charlie's father owns the town. He's kind of like, so he let his stupid son have this shop. There's no one there. No one ever goes in there. It's just Charlie. Charlie runs around this shop hanging out, and his only friend is Tom Paris. There are no extras in this movie
No.
other than the people they had at that at the fire at
school,
at the
yeah.
high school. I don't remember if there's ever going to be another like grouping of large groups of people that aren't. I assume most of those people are the guys in those suits right now in the background.
Oh
I
yeah.
assume that the guards are all the cops.
One day you're a robot, one day you're a prom attendee,
Yeah.
that whole thing.
Well, there's never any students. No. Remember, there are no students show up at this thing either. It's just the janitor. There's not one person at
No,
the prom.
there were students milling around outside.
Oh
Like,
yeah, outside looking.
There were people like, oh man, here we are for prom. Oh no, the building's on fire. You know, there were those.
Yes,
type of people.
there were two, at least two I saw in the background. One had a letter jacket draped around her. My new favorite part is this scene in the back of Charlie's. They go into Charlie's and everybody, we're all kind of together now. So now we know the plan. The plan is you've got to retune the thing. And I don't understand what Gwildor's problem is, but he's having problems getting it tuned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just had to face down Lubick swinging a gun and pointing it at He-Man's face, which I know that's exactly what you want in every kid's movie is your hero having a gun pulled on them and pointed at their face.
Don't forget that gun gets handed to a child in a few minutes.
Yes. But yeah, Teela gives 0 Fs about this.
Teela just grabs the gun, takes the gun. I like that the Eternians are not even scared of guns. They're just like, what is that going to fire? A little metal ball? Oh no.
That's no blaster.
Yeah. And I love that Gwildor is kind of taken over as like what he's working on, and he's working on the cosmic key. They're now in like a showdown at the OK Corral kind of moment. They're getting ready. They run to the back room.
I love how it seems like they've piled up music equipment to, hide behind.
All the used stuff too. Because it has a big sign on it that says used.
Yeah, you don't want to pile the new stuff, just all the used stuff.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's the kind of stuff that's actually going to block blaster fire because it's made out of plywood and steel. None of this plastic stuff you have nowadays.
Doesn't make any sense to me that Detective Lubick, a member of the police force on Earth that doesn't know about robot soldiers or warlock ladies or whatever, just takes the word for it that these guys are dangerous and goes to the back room. Ernie, the guy that owns the store, is just like, oh, okay, these new guys, I'll take their word for it, and I will go to the back room too.
I like that Karg calls them natives. That's very woke of you, Karg. He's like, the natives are in the store.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the traffic in the streets of LA, that transport, they're calling it
swampboat,
just parks in the middle of the street.
Yeah, well, it has to always park. It has to always park where you can't see the things that are holding it up off the ground. So every angle we always see it at is from up. Like we never see it straight on. We always see it a little up. They've only got one swamp boat. Later on, they're going to have the mega Skeletor swamp boat sold separately. But right now they've got the regular swamp boat. So all these robots are going to come in and they're going to fight. They've got 3 blasters, a sword that probably won't get used, and a pistol.
Yep.
They also have a back door that they don't use until later. And only
let me tell you about my back door.
Yeah. Evil Lyn goes around to the back door because she's got experience with that type of stuff.
Evil Lyn knows her way around my back door. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Evil Lyn, text me.
Because Gwildor and Kevin are having their little tete-a-tete about, oh yes, the universe is music, everything is music. It's like a Bjork symposium.
It's not even a symposium. It's like the universe is music, Kevin. And then the director's like, cut away to the comic relief, quick. Explanations, they're boring. And then this is where Lubick is like, I think we stumbled onto a loony fringe group here. Some
loony
kind of
fringe cult.
Yeah, I agree.
And Charlie's like, no, it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Like, this is nothing like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Robots hate doors too. They just go through windows. They see a window, they go right through it. But I think they skipped it because I think of now Kevin's going to know how to use the key.
That's the point. I think the point is that it is music, so he's going to take ex machina. He's going to ex deuce machina it later.
Yeah.
So the He-Man, yet again, using his laser blaster that he's known to use in this fight. There's he hasn't even unsheathed his sword.
No. Man at Arms bringing the comedy. First, he's like, how,
He's
how
hungry.
you feeling? I'm hungry. And now it's like, oh, you don't think they like us? No, they're lonely. They miss us. Oh,
And then
great lines, Duncan.
And then Teela feels that they are not, not being backed up enough. So she throws the gun to Tom Paris. Is like, do you know how to use this? He does not answer. And then she runs out in the worst way, holds her guns like this. It's like,
oh,
it's
awful.
She's able to blast 3 robots in a row, and then she crouches down, looks dead into the camera, and says, "Woman at arms." And I'm pretty sure that if you had done this in 2024, there would be a bunch of like crybabies online. They'd be like, "It's woke," pissing themselves.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Teela knows that all she has to do is kind of hold her blasters pointing in some sort of direction, and the visual effects will just drop a couple blaster fires in, take out those robots easy. Because I don't know what the heck that was. She's not even shooting from the hip. I'd respect. She's like shooting from midsection.
This is where the movie kind of goes off the rails. There's a
Oh,
fight
here?
Yeah, this is where it happens. There's a fight going on out front. And this is the time that Marshall Strickland has decided, I want the gun back. At the same time, Courtney Cox's mother's ghost is out in the hallway.
Yeah.
So she's like completely enamored with this ghost of her mother.
Yeah.
So she sees Strickland and Tom Paris start to fight over the gun. And she leaves. While they're fighting.
This might be the closest thing to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where people who thought they were allies start fighting because they stop trusting each other.
Mm-hmm.
But Julie's like, there is a much more interesting story out here in the alleyway.
Yes.
Let's leave that behind.
So she goes out in the alley, and her ghost mom is like, I've been on a secret project, kind of like they tried to do in one of the bad Spider-Man movies. Your father and I are not dead. Woo doo 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 doo.
Can I give you some fun facts?
Woody doody doody. Yes, please.
So many fun facts. Well, not so many, but you brought up Spider-Man, and I wrote that Richard and Mary Parker are her parents. Canon Films originally had plans to make a Spider-Man movie, and they decided they were going to split the money between Superman 4 and this movie, and they were going to take the profits from these movies and make a nice Spider-Man movie. Well, guess what?
They both bombed. Full
Spider-Man never got made.
Yeah, no, thank God.
Also, the mom is played by Gwyn Guilford. This is her last movie. She's still alive. She retired. She's going to be she's a psychotherapist now.
Oh, okay.
She is married to Robert Pine, who is the sergeant from Chips, and she's the mom of
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
No,
that's
kidding.
awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
Previously discussed on Sword Boys, but yeah,
that's awesome.
And this is not a fact. This is a joke. Evil Lyn is now a member of the Illusions. There you go. You get that one for free.
I like that when you say this is a joke before you tell a joke. It helps me.
Laughter.
It helps me in this. So she's out there. She's like, I need the key. And of course, Courtney Cox is like, of course, Ghost Mom. I'll get you the key.
Anything for you, Ghost Mom. And so she goes into the room, grabs the keys, like, my mom's alive, and just runs. And everyone's like, wait, what? We're busy fighting over a gun. Can you roll that back by us again?
And well, thank God Gwildor's got the gun now. The guy with one eye. I know saying the guy with one eye in this movie doesn't narrow it down.
Oh my gosh. I love the look of horror on Courtney Cox's face when she realizes that Dead Mom is actually Evil Lyn in disguise.
I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Fucking duh.
Like
the biggest reaction.
It's amazing just the way she's like, so good. It's probably like the best part of this movie for her, where she really gets to just lay it on as thick as this movie demands.
So yeah, they get the key. They have the key now. The robot's Evil Lyn, and they're just like, we're out. We got it. And then Julie's like, that woman took the key.
No, you gave her the key.
You dummy. Can I just want to backtrack just a slightly bit. The Lubick here. I got to just talk about Lubick. Number one, like, why did he get his gun? Like, why did he get his gun taken away?
Yeah, terrible cop.
And two, it's like, Teela gives Kevin his gun and is just like, keep an eye on him. Like, is Lubick their hostage now? Why is he getting,
I guess they feel that
held in the
Lubick's
back
not
room
on
of-
their side more than anyone else.
He's just
Yeah.
gonna mess things up.
Yeah.
And of course, Lubick, having been disarmed of his pistol, goes to Charlie and be like, "Hey, you've got a gun in here, right? This is America. You have
It's
a gun.
1985. You have a gun,
Give it
right?
to me." Charlie's like, "Well, no one's going to steal anything from my store because everything's destroyed. So yeah, here you go, cop. Have
Poor
my
Charlie.
gun."
His story is royally fucked.
Yeah, insurance is not going to cover this. He is boned.
And then we get Action Lubick. Sawed off shotgun, right? Is it sawed off?
Oh no, that's just a regular old
It's just
shotgun.
regular. Normal shotgun.
All right. Maybe it was like a little bit sawed off. It's just cooler if it's sawed off.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
It's a very 80s thing to have an Uzi or have a sawed off shotgun.
Yeah. If he came out with two Uzis, even better. And he could have held him like Teela.
but no, he yells at these robots, they turn around and then they destroy his car, which is a real shame.
I do like it. It's just like, yeah, screw this. These guys, I'm going to arrest every one of these robots.
I remember.
I think I'm going to need some backup.
Those of you that remember this from a previous Soyd Boys episode, this is where Rick was watching this during a previous recording of another movie. This is the scene he was watching with the car and Evil Lyn rocking out. This was like months ago because I remember you watching it. And it was you put it up behind you in your background, like you were sharing your screen of what you were watching. Just to know, Rick, what movie are you watching now for future reference? Like, you watching another movie while we're recording this one?
My gosh, I'm not watching any other movies while we're recording, but I got my side project stuff for Mad Max, so that's a whole other bag of cats.
It's another show.
Yeah, it's a whole other show. We don't need to get into it right now.
So she's got Evil Lyn has got the other cosmic key. Now that we have them both, I can put them together. Oh my god, the sensation. That's
right. She signals Skeletor, and then a giant gaping portal opens in the middle of the street. And what comes through a whole bunch of Skeletor's little foot soldiers first, and he's got some like guys on hoverboards, and then his own fan boat emerges from the space butthole.
How was Evil Lyn able to just easily? She knew the answer to the creating the hole.
Oh no, she didn't create this hole. She just called up Skeletor and said, "Yo, we got it." And then
she hit it. She started hitting the buttons.
Yeah,
she hits the buttons as if was she not using it, or was she just tapping on it?
Because he comes through the portal with his key.
Gotcha. Okay.
So as soon as she sends him the address, then all he has to do is just and then boom, there he goes.
They could have gone back anytime. The loser team already went back to Eternia on their own. They didn't even without Evil Lyn. I am so confused here because it's like, why didn't they just head back to Eternia? Why does Skeletor need to come here? He seems to be obsessed with killing He-Man. But
Skeletor hasn't even finished the revolt and the uprising on his planet. Yeah. Don't come here and start your own stuff here. You don't have time.
Yeah.
Listen, he's got to capture He-Man.
Yes.
I don't know.
He can't make him a martyr. He told us about this earlier. He has to have him, and he has to break him.
What's weird is that Skeletor doesn't come out of the butthole portal in the same place that Evil Lyn is already. Like, he comes through the portal into Earth, and then he's got to call Evil Lyn where she's on her fan boat. Like, they got to be like a block apart from each other.
Yeah. How many?
They could just like meet up.
Yeah.
I guess there's got to be a reason for the Air Centurions to be deployed.
You know, this is the second movie that we've watched. Our first one was a TC boost, so please go to patreon.com/swordboys. Patreon.com/swordboys, and you can see it. But this is our second one with people flying around in really badly made. Except these are miniatures. These don't seem to be guys on wires, which actually I kind of like better.
These are like green screen cutouts.
Yeah,
like I can't even tell if the guys on hoverboards are necessarily moving or if they're just like moving. These might just be paper dolls.
Yeah. They're air centurions, which is not a thing in He-Man.
Does not make any sense. Centurions are commanders in the Roman army that were in charge of 100 soldiers. What is an air centurion?
I guess
This is
there's
like-
100 of them.
This and Highlander 2 are both like they want to be like Battle of New York, but it's paid with some kid's allowance.
Yep.
This is terrible.
So they're shooting at him. He-Man destroys one of the air Centurions, and then they go, and I love that they didn't shoot this a second time. They're like, no, we're not making another take. He-Man opens a door, and then part of a wall behind him falls on him. Piece of trash falls on him, and they just keep going with the same watch. If you watch it when he opens the door,
Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Don't
It's
stop.
there's like a piece of like just garbage refuse. This whole movie is refuse. It's there.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Because remember, they're in the gritty part of LA. It's just like, do you want to shoot that again? Hey, do you want to shoot that again and film about? No, we're good.
Oh my God. And if you notice, as he's about to go through the door and follow them, it looks like his sword falls out of his sheath.
Yeah.
He definitely had to double back and grab his sword
This scene's a nightmare.
and put it away yet again.
Right. Because the air Centurion is flying along, blasting holes in the windows. And He-Man is able to, I guess, get ahead of him, shoot out the window, knocking him off of the hoverboard, and having grabbed Gwildor's grappler, which, my God, that was a sentence. He hops out of the window onto the hoverboard. And it's like, why do our heroes keep thinking they need to be on a hoverboard?
Like right now, one of the guys on the hoverboard shooting the windows out. Yeah, it's you could do this. This could have been an email. You could do this in a much different way.
Yeah,
It's not going to look good. And it looks like absolute garbage when He-Man jumps on and flies away.
I'm so
It
happy.
looks so
How
bad.
is he keeping balance? There's nothing his feet are strapped into
Nope.
even. I don't get it.
And that's where this scene ends with that horrible shot of him like flying basically sideways, like
Yep.
like an action figure.
Yeah.
It is literally the action pose. His knees are slightly bent. His elbows are slightly bent. He is standing stock still as the thing tilts up and
Yeah.
away. It's not moving fast enough to like hold him in place. I don't even know how these
This is the-
hoverboard things work. It is
This is the
ridiculous.
Superman 4 effects that I've come to love as a child. I remember when Superman 4 came out. I saw it in the movie theater because I saw every Superman in the movie theater. And I was already so bummed by 3. And then I saw 4 and I'm like, oh no, it's worse. It's worse than 3. At least 3 looks good.
So they were trying to set our expectations with the Superman 4 type music at the top of this movie. Be like, hey, listen, oh, you think this sounds like Superman 4? That's not the only thing that's going to be like Superman 4 in this movie. Like, take your expectations and just lower them.
Yeah, are they gonna have multiple shots of He-Man flying towards the camera, like the same shot? Not multiple shots, multiple scenes of the same shot.
And thankfully, he doesn't get that long on the hoverboard, so we don't have to worry about them running out of shots and having to reuse footage.
It's funny
But,
that they think there's
you
no
know.
wheels in Eternia, but I can tell you at least a few of the toys I had wheels because I
Yeah,
had some of the
hover on them.
ships.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
tanks in that toy line.
Where's Cringer?
Well, the Cringer is the movie along the way. We
Right.
met along the way.
I'm sure if they wanted to include some sort of mention of Cringer, they could be like, oh, we've been fighting this war for so long. I've lost so many friends, including my loyal battle cat, Cringer.
Ram Man.
Yeah,
Other
the
people that are
king-
not here. Merman.
The king and the queen,
Orko.
Uh, Shira.
Poor
she's
Orko.
dead.
He was fed into a wood chipper.
Orko, they did some bad things to him. Who's that? Whose voice are we doing right now?
That's
By the way.
our Dolph voice.
Is that
That's
Dolph?
not what Dolph sounds like because I can understand you.
Oh,
So I'll ask again. Was this a good cut?
Oh, I mean, it had some good like gunfighting,
yeah.
but we're not
so-
here
so
for
no.
that.
No.
I think this was pretty much like this is a bit of the Lubick show. Just the man being confronted with so many alien forces and just trying to wrap his head around it. And he's a
I don't
true
think it's-
American because his first thought is get me a gun.
Get me a gun.
It's probably the Russians.
Are you a
a
Russian?
cult?
It's a cult. Yep. This is I would say this is of the 4 we've watched so far. This is the probably most laughable in just like stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a movie about a man that has a white face. So it's stupid stuff. Let's take with a grain of salt. But I'm saying in the movie universe, like there's stuff that is unmotivated that is done in this clip that's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I definitely feel you can feel as the script goes on, because I think Golden Globus movies, they shoot them in order because they just run out of money by the end. So by the end, it's always worse. And then, it's like they're not shooting the cheap stuff first. They're shooting all the great stuff. Like probably all the Eternia stuff was shot first. Mm-hmm. And then everything starts to go downhill by the end. So I'm interested to see what our next cut will be.
Got 2 more left.
Because I can't remember. I don't remember how this movie ends. I don't remember how they get back to Eternia. I have no idea. I can't remember, which is probably good. So I'm super excited to see it.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, it involves a giant space butthole.
Oh, well, of course. Yes,
Yes.
It needs to always have a butthole.
Yeah, Skeletor is going to take his, he's got a very phallic shaped craft, and then there are like 2 separate pods that sit on either side of the shaft. Like he's basically,
tell me more.
He's got a giant dick ship. Like seriously.
Yes, welcome to my dick ship. Because I'm a skeleton, I don't have one.
There's like a little laser cannon at the front that can shoot from. It's like
pew pew.
Like, of course he does. Of course,
what
he's
do you
got
do
a
with
dick ship.
Rick? What are you gonna do with my dick ship when you see it? Are you gonna wash it or rub it or?
See, what's really awkward in the next cut is how the dick ship starts going into the portal, and then they're like, "No, wait, back up!" And then Skeletor backs it back out of the portal. All right, now back in. And he just does that like 2 or 3 times, and it's like, okay, it's feeling a little gratuitous now.
Yeah, I can't believe they showed it.
If he pulls off the holdo maneuver, the people are going to get royally fucked.
Yeah,
you can't do that fast. It's too fast. You blast right through it. You blast right through it. That's not good for anybody.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you can expect from the next cut. So be sure to come back, because next time, He-Man takes the fight to Skeletor, but is outmaneuvered when his friends are surrounded and he is forced to surrender the Power Sword. As He-Man is taken back to Eternia as a captive, Gwildor and Kevin decide to work together to open a portal of their own. Skeletor brings He-Man back to the only interior space on Eternia to have him laser whipped as Moonrise approaches. Will Lubick be the hero that puts an end to these evil schemes? Find out in Cut 5 of Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Well, dun, 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 dun. Somebody Patreon us Secret of the Sword. Come on. Look us up. We got to get to the real stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't mention it in the next time recap, but there's some weird old side effects to getting zapped with Skeletor magic that aren't instantly being disintegrated. Like being instantly disintegrated might be the better situation based on what happens to Julie's calf.
I don't understand how they've made this power sword a thing. The power sword is kind of like the throwy thing that from Beastmaster. It feels like it was going to be in the movie a lot, and then isn't in the movie really. It's kind of like Krull. Krull's all about getting the freaking glaive, and then the glaive only shows up maybe twice. So
ask Cog if it was a throwaway thing, because I just threw it out his face.
Did you see that scene where it fell off my back? The power sword didn't even want to be around me anymore. It's chosen another master. I think it now works at that pizza place around the corner.
Yeah. It was just really weird how Sorod became the real throwaway element of this movie.
You're still Sorod about that, aren't you?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going back to Cut 3. That was an old joke.
We're not Sorod boys, okay?
What do you mean, Cut? I'm all natural, baby.
God. Look at the front of my ship. You'll see. I'm not part of the tribe. That's what I'm saying. All right. Well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Find us on swordboys.biz. That's our website.
Patreon.com/swordboys for some great extra content.
Buy a shirt.
Follow us on social media.
Buy a shirt for funds. Yeah. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Clang,
Cling, clang!
Clang, clang! Whoa, my butthole tingles.